Hello. In a previous tutorial, I showed you how you can easily encrypt your files using TrueCrypt. Well, in this video, I'm going to show you how you can encrypt your messages between friends, relatives, and colleagues in a completely secure way that is so secure that even if someone were to secretly record the encrypted communications going between you two, right now, if somebody then was able to get a hold of either one of your computers to try and get access to the key to be able to decrypt everything, it would be impossible due to the way that this is set up. And it's very easy. You just follow the tutorial and you will have this ability yourself. So if you look in the description of this video, you will find two download links. One of them is for Pidgin, which is a messaging client we're going to use, and the other one is for a plugin called Off the Record, or OTR, this is the part that will be performing the encryption. So first of all, we need to install Pidgin. So once you've got it downloaded, we'll double click that, hit yes, okay, next. If you want to have a desktop icon, you can just tick that, hit next, install, and it will access the necessary components via the internet so that it has everything to be able to install it for you. And then once that's done, the next button will light up, so you hit next and finish. So that's it for the Pidgin install. So now we'll install Off the Record. So we double click that, hit yes, next, I agree, install, and we'll untick that and hit finish. Okay, so now we have the client installed. So I've opted to have the desktop icon, but if you didn't, you can run it by clicking Start, All Programs, and you'll find it in the upper area of your Start menu. It isn't in a folder, it's by itself, easily accessible. So we'll run it, and since this is the first time that we've run this, we need to add an account. So we get this easy to use screen that will help us through the process. So we hit add, then click this little combo box here and hit XMPP. Now we want to come up with a unique username that nobody else will be using, so I'm going to go with Tester Tech 123. Highlight it and hit copy. Highlight it and then right click on it and hit copy. Then for the domain, you have to type in dukgo.com. Now if you happen to know another XMPP service provider, you can type in their domain instead. But for the purposes of this demonstration, this is a very secure service that I trust. So then we want to type in a password, hit remember password, and since I'm creating this account, it doesn't actually exist yet, then I want to hit create this new account on the server. But if I already had this account and I'm just wanting to log in, I just wouldn't tick this at the bottom. So then we hit add, and this is the registration process. So we'll paste the username in here, we'll type the password in there and hit OK. Alright, so now we've registered the account and it exists. You'll see here this icon is grey. This means we're not online yet. So we need to just enable it by clicking this, and then you'll see it light up in a multicolored icon. That means we're connected. This service actually sends you a little message here when you connect. So we'll just hit X on that because we're not interested in that particular thing. So now we have the system up and running. What we need to do now is have our friend at the other end go through the same tutorial. So just pass them this video, and once you both get to this point, then you have to add each other as a contact, or as they say on here, a buddy. So what you need to do to add the other person, you hit buddies, go to add buddy. If you have multiple accounts installed on here, you would select the one you want to use, but in this case we only have one anyway, so that's fine. Then we type in the username of the other person, which in this case is morethought@duckgo.com. And if you want to have them appear on your end in your list to have a different name, something more applicable, then you could type that in. So I'm just going to call it Wesley. And then you hit add, and that will add them to your list, and then they have to accept it. They have to authorize you for you to add them. So what I'm going to do, you would actually hit add, but I'm going to just cancel this for a moment, and I'm going to do it from the other computer and add this account so that you can see what it looks like when someone else adds you. So you'll see it from both angles, how to both add a contact and how to authorize someone who's trying to add you as a contact. So I'll do that now. Okay, so I have added it as a contact, and you'll see here, this is what you see when someone adds you. It's telling you who it is who's tried to add you, and it's giving you technical information about them. So if you know who it is, you hit authorize. If you don't know who it is, hit deny. So I know who this is, so I'm going to hit authorize, and then this will give me the ability to add them as a contact if I haven't already added them. So I'm going to change the alias here to Wesley. This is the same screen I showed you first when you go to add a buddy. It's just that to make it easy for you, if someone's adding you, once you authorize it, it automatically brings this up for you, so you can add them to your list. So we'll hit add. So now we're both added on each other's list. So we can close this accounts window. Now what we need to do is go to Tools, Plugins, scroll down a little bit until we find Off the Record Messaging. This is the plugin that we installed. So we'll tick that to enable it, and then hit close. So now when we want to send a message, you just double click the person, and you see this window. And if you look at the bottom right, you'll see it says not private. So what we need to do is we need to click this and hit start private conversation. And what will happen now is on the other person's computer, if they haven't used OTR before, it will generate a key for that particular person, and then your computer will generate a key as well. And the purpose of generating the keys is so that you can actually do the secure communication, but also to add an extra layer so that you know the person you're talking to is the same person that you're expecting to talk to. So it will go to this screen wanting to create a private key, since this is the first time we're using this. So once that's done, we hit OK, and you'll see down here that it says unverified. What that means is that, as I was saying, there's an ability for us to know that the person we are securely talking to is the same person we think they are. This is how you authorize that. If you, for example, have been communicating on TeamSpeak or Skype or something like that, and you're talking in real time, setting all of this up with each other, then you know the person that you've added is really them. So what you would do is, once you've initiated the secure communication, you just hit this button again, hit authenticate buddy, and hit this little combo box here and put manual fingerprint verification and say you have verified it, and hit authenticate. If you aren't in actual conversation right now while you're setting this up, what you can do is put it on question and answer. So you can ask the person a question, and then enter in the number. So then when you hit authenticate, it's going to ask them this question. And in order for you to know that it's really that person, if you've asked them something specific that you know that person should know, then they type in that same string for the answer, and you will be authenticated. So I'm going to ask this question. Okay, so the authentication was successful, so I'll hit OK, and now you get a nice green private. This means that the person we're talking to, we've already authenticated them. So if someone else hypothetically took that person's password and logged into their account on their computer, not the person's computer we're talking to now, but the person who stole the password, if they log into my friend's account on their computer, then this would say unverified. So now when I type, all of these messages are encrypted, meaning they can't be spied upon by anybody. And if you want to verify this, if you go to Tools, you don't have to do this part if you don't want to, but if you want to just see what it looks like, you go to Tools, Plugins, then scroll down, and you'll see XMPP Console. So you can enable that, and then go to Tools, XMPP Console, and then click on XMPP Console there, drag this to the side, and then send a message. Now this is the raw communication that gets sent over the network. As you can see, a simple message just like test. This is everything that was sent in order to just communicate the simple word test. If I want to type something else, this message right here is what this is. So you can see this is completely scrambled, and this is free open source software, meaning the source code, the actual code that was typed to make these programs and the plugins, they're accessible to any developer or programmer who wants to check into it and make sure there's no backdoors. It's completely wide open, so nothing can be hidden. So this is a truly secure way of having communication, especially now that there's all this spying going on the internet from both governments and hackers. So being able to just talk privately amongst yourselves is an important thing. So once you've just gone through this process, whenever you want to talk to the other person, all you do, if I just close out the program of Pidgin, I just double click Pidgin, it comes up, it automatically logs into the account. Okay, now I see that DuckGo is online, and I just double click the person, and if this says it's not private, all I have to do is just click this and hit Start Private Conversation and just wait for it. You'll see it change down here. There we go, private. Now anything I say inside here is completely private and secure. So I hope you found this tutorial useful. Please like and subscribe to be able to get the new videos as soon as I make them. And I'll see you on the next video. Thank you.